Appreciate that. All right, I got everybody here. I got Zach Simony. I got Kenny White. I have Todd Furman. I have my mic. I got to pick it up. I told you it was minus 700 that I would have my mic down at some point.
Professional. You're the true broadcaster in this group. You're supposed to lead the three of us.
I always have a clip mic. I don't have the handheld mic. I've never been the field reporter, not once.
They
can't take me anywhere.
We can find a clip big enough to clip that onto you.
Yeah, that's why they can't take me anywhere here. That's exactly it. All right, let's get to what we have with Chargers and Jags in North Florida. Interesting. Jags getting 1.5 points in their building. Let's start with side. Anyone want to jump in and be all gung-ho that this is the game to bet, and why? Kenny White, you're first.
Well, Monday night we were on together, EK, and I said that out of all the playoff games, I thought the best play was the Chargers at pick. Their most value. I made the Chargers 2.5, so the number's to where I thought it should be. I don't know if there's any value here. If you want to bet the Chargers, I would say bet the money line right now. That's the only place you could go, I think. Well, I don't know. 2.5's not a bad number to lay as well.
We got 1.5 now.
Yeah, 1.5, 2.5 on the market everywhere. But I'm questioning Trevor Lawrence. That's what I'm worried about. I watched him last week against Tennessee. He played so tight. I guess Jacksonville's playing with house money because they really shouldn't be here. Tennessee outplayed Jacksonville, and if it wasn't for a scoop and score, we're talking about Tennessee and the Chargers right now, or Tennessee and somebody else. So Jacksonville's fortunate to be here, but Trevor Lawrence was very tight last week, and if he's tight today against the Chargers, I don't think they have a shot.
So the question I have for you, Kenny, your player evaluations are second to none. What kind of adjustment do you make for a Chargers offense that's looked significantly more dynamic when it's Keenan Allen and Mike Williams out there? Clearly they knew he wasn't going to be a part of the game plan, so it allowed Brandon Staley to scheme, but did you make any adjustments with him not being there for him?
I have a point drop-off for Mike Williams. He's one of the better wide receivers in the NFL. That definitely hurts. When they were without Williams and Keenan Allen, it was a 3-point drop-off because the combination of both guys.
All right, so you cost them a point because no Mike Williams, but you still like the Chargers, but you want to bet them on the money line. Again, it just moved from 1.5 to 2.5. I mean, literally, right before we start talking, that goes to 2.5. How big is 1.5 to 2.5, Todd? And does that change at all what you want to do?
It's gotten bigger over the years in terms of the 2-point conversion, analytics, and everything else, because you're talking about a team in the Jacksonville Jaguars that if they're down 14, are most likely going to go for 2 late in the game to try and make it a 6-point contest. But much like Kenny, if you're looking at the Chargers here, lay the added vig, back the Chargers on the money line rather than trying to split the needle here with that 1.5 to 2.5. For me, it's ever so slight a lean. I actually made the game very close to where the market is right now. I have some questions about both of these teams, mainly on the defensive side of the ball. You look at Jacksonville, and while people are enamored with some of the uptick we've seen from them, look at the opponents that they faced over the last 3 weeks. It's Zach Wilson in the rain. It's Davis Mills in the much-maligned Houston Texans offense, and it's Josh Dobbs making his second ever start in a winner-go-home type setting. Meanwhile, on the other side for the Chargers, yes, the defenses look better. We'll throw out the Week 18 performance against Russell Wilson, but there are still some red flags when they step up in class. And honestly, EK, I think the Jaguars benefit immensely by playing a de facto playoff game Week 18. They don't have the target on their back now. There's not the pressure being a 6-point favorite, and I expect them to be loose and free with Trevor Lawrence throwing it around the yard. But I still think the Chargers have the pedigree, and I really believe they find a way to get a big win on the road.
All right, 2 for the Chargers. You going to go Chargers as well, Zach?
Yeah, I'm going to make it unanimous with the LA Chargers, minus 2.5. That's the number I had them at. I think they're going to win this game. You look at, they're not going to have Mike Williams, obviously, but they've been without Williams and Keenan Allen for stretches this season. I think DeAndre Carter and Joshua Palmer can fill in this game. And then the Chargers have just been a great road team ATS all season long, 6-2 ATS. And one of those ATS losses, if you played them on the money line against the Cardinals, you would have won. So a great team on the road. And I just think this is the Chargers' moment to finally get a playoff win against a Jacksonville Jaguars team, like Kenny said, probably more fortunate to be in the playoffs at this moment.
Yeah, I'm going the other way. I'm taking Jacksonville. I think they win the game. I'm taking them on the money line. I don't even want the points. I'll take the extra plus in my favor. I have the better D, I have the better coach that's in my building. You know what? Do I trust Brandon Staley coming across 3 time zones, playing in North Florida, when this team is time and time again? How many times have we seen the Chargers let us down in this spot? How many? How many times? How many times
he was playing Jacksonville, though.
I'm just saying, how many times does Lucy have to take the football away before Charlie Brown figures out this is the way it ends? That's what I feel with the Chargers. Give me Jacksonville. Plus money. There you go. All right. Next up, how about side, right? I mean, total. We're going to go to total, and we have 47. 47. Boy, they're not giving it away. I kind of want to go under. And that's, but I know the public likes the over. Is anybody going to go, guns blazing that this is the place to be, the total in this game? Todd Furman.
I'm going to go over the total, but it's going to be on the derivative market here, and honestly, it's going over in the first half. I think both of these teams come out with a slightly more aggressive game plan than we're led to believe, and you're going to see Trevor Lawrence look more comfortable under center. They realize they have to get the ball out of his hand quickly, get the ball into the hands of the playmakers, whether it's Evan Ingram, whether it's Zay Jones, Christian Kirk. All couldn't really get themselves going last week against the Tennessee Titans, but that was because the Titans took away the ground game. I think you're going to see a much more balanced attack here from the Jags, and while I don't love this Chargers offense nearly as much for their big play potential, when you're playing without Mike Williams, who is the king of contested catches, and forcing a defense to play you honestly, I do think Joshua Palmer can catch a deep ball. Keenan Allen is going to have a myriad of opportunities to work underneath in the slot, and I really believe this total for the full game is actually a shade high, but I made the first half total 24, so I have a touch of value going over 23.5.
All right, Zach?
I'm going to go over full game 47.5, and I just look at the game script of the first game. I do expect the Chargers to be much more aggressive, like Todd just mentioned, based on their first game against the Jaguars this year. 10 points, that's the lowest that they scored all season long. We know that Justin Herbert tried to play through that rib injury from the week prior against the Kansas City Chiefs. Keenan Allen didn't play in that game, and Austin Eckler was held to a season low 5 rushing yards. That's the lowest rushing yards he's had in over 3 seasons. So you're going to expect the Chargers to improve vastly on the offensive end of the game, and then the Jaguars also in that matchup scored 38 points, their second highest of the year. So for me, I'll take the over in this game.
All right, Kenny?
Yeah, I got to believe that I'm going to go under. I went under. My number was 45. It's going to be very windy all day, but that wind's going to die down a little bit in the second quarter, so it's not going to be as big a factor as I hoped it was going to be. 2 quarterbacks starting their first playoff game. Looking at these defenses, both of them improved over the season. The Jacksonville Jaguars have allowed just 22 points in their last 3 games. 22 points in 3 games. Throw out the Chargers' last game against Denver was meaningless. The previous 4 games in a battle to get into the playoffs, they allowed just 44 points. 44 points in 4 games. So both defenses have improved throughout the season. Both quarterbacks starting their first playoff game. Could be a little tight here. I know it's going to get close to this total. It's not going to be easy, but I think you're going to see a game that it's going to be close late, and that's going to lead to the under.
Yeah, I hate the total in this game. I just don't want any part of it. Right? This is going to be one, I think we're going to be close, and are we going to get a late touchdown? And it's going to be one of those where it's like, all right, you got the ball, there's a minute 15, 2 timeouts, you got to come down the field. If you kick the field goal, we go to overtime, and then it goes over. If you score a touchdown, it goes over. Maybe it goes, I don't want any part of it. So I will probably look at that first half, and I think I probably will go over with you in the first half, but I morally hate playing the first half over.
It's okay for a tiger to change his or her stripes, right? You do realize you can come outside of that comfort zone if you think an over actually has value, EK.
I don't like it.
We've apparently trained him too well. It's
I don't have to play in Vegas.
Costs.
I busted out the colorful shirts. I got a jacket with beads on it. I'm hanging out with you fellas and betting overs. Who am I? What happened? I don't know.
Where are your sunglasses?
I'd love to have them on. All right, I'm going to go over first half. There we go. All right, player props. This is where I think the value is in this game. This is where I'm starting to look. I'm going to look at the player props as really, I think, the best play in this spot. So, Zach, you're first. What's your player prop?
I'm going to go Austin Eckler over 38.5 receiving yards. There's a chance that he may be bottled up in the backfield again, so they're going to utilize him with his strength, and that's going to be out of the backfield. You look at Justin Herbert. He's been targeting Austin Eckler all season long, 127 targets, 7 targets a game. And if you actually look at primetime games, it's actually higher. Three primetime games this year, he's had double-digit targets, and he's only had 5 double-digit targets all season long. So Justin Herbert definitely looks his way in primetime games as a safety valve. I'll take the over 38.5 receiving yards.
Todd?
When you're looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars offense, this is a team who went out and addressed the skill positions that are deficiency. Travis Etienne didn't have any reps last year dealing with the Liz Frank. He's produced. Christian Kirk, they brought in from Arizona, has been a wonder from the slot. We've seen Zay Jones put up gaudy numbers. And Evan Ingram in a contract year gambling on himself, which leaves an odd man out, in my opinion, being Marvin Jones. I just don't think Jones factors into this game plan much at all. And while the over-under on his receiving yards doesn't give you a ton of wiggle room in the high 20s, I think he gets 1 to 2 targets tops. He's an afterthought for the way the Jaguars want to try and go about attacking this Chargers secondary. And I really believe this number is a touch too high. Wouldn't shock me at all if he ended up with a clean sheet, 1 target, no yards, no receptions. Marvin Jones under 29.5 for me.
All right. I'm going to Gerald Everett for the Chargers. He's got the playoff. It's Super Bowl champ Gerald Everett, actually. 3.5 receptions, and we're getting plus money to go over that. Gerald Everett on the year is median is 4 receptions per game. There's no Mike Williams. I really feel like Justin Herbert's going to lean on him. He's the safety blanket. Gerald Everett's going to be open in the middle of the field. The Jacksonville Jaguar defense, below average defending the tight end in 2022. I look for that to continue to happen in this game. Look for him to have a big game today.
I'm going to go under Josh Palmer, 4.5 catches. I think people look and say, oh, well, Mike Williams is out. It's going to be Josh Palmer. Pump our brakes here, okay? It's Josh Palmer. They'll go more to Everett. They'll go more to Eckler. 5's a lot, especially if you guys think they're going to be ahead at some point in time and they're going to really be a little cautious. I'll go under Josh Palmer, 4.5 catches as my selection on the player prop. So that's how we want to play this market and this game. Oh, are we going to be here for all day today, tomorrow, next day? It's going to be your playoff home. It's going to be an awful lot of fun. I'm with the local gang. They've let me have fun with them today. And let's send it back to Connecticut and Russ, and we'll just figure out what we're going to do next year. It's great.
I don't think Casillas is ever going to leave. He certainly doesn't want to leave. Bettors aren't exactly sure what to do about Chargers and Jags when it comes to ATS betting here. 51-49. It's about even all the way. Reflected in the line as well, which is 1.5 right now. Should be a good one in Duval County.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.